Hey guys, you guys hear me? Do let me know if you guys can see me. Mm. Okay, let's work on the tiles today, and I have some plans based on what I've done so far. There is some hmm, let's try this. I'll find some references in the meantime. Mm. Trying to recreate this sort of tiles. Like, this is pretty simple, but let's see. Let's completely delete this. It's not necessary at all. Maybe just a bit. Work on this later. Let's give it a quick render. Mm. Let me know if the video is buffering. I'm not really sure. Let's see my channel. Mm. Okay, it seems doable. So let's start. So yesterday I did some regular tiles, tactiles. So you can look at it here. I also plug this one directly into this separate color node. I'll have this, and finally this. Of course, the scale is completely wrong. Let's increase the scale to, I don't know, let's say 400. And let's decrease the strength. Something really low. But yeah, let's open the different collection and let's look at this camera for now. Okay. It seems we are talking to an empty stream, so I'm not talking. If anyone joins in, I think I'll start talking, so that'll be fun. So let's see. Um, we have a tube looking structures which we can use a wave texture to recreate it. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use, let's see which one shall we use. Herringbone is already done, and let's disconnect all this. We don't need any of these now. Let's hide this, hide the dimension as well. And let's also hide, I think this is it. Yeah, perfect. Hide input as well. And for regular tiles, the same thing. Let's hide this value, this value. That should do it. Let's quickly reorganize stuff. We have these offsets. We have motor. Let's keep the motor the same. Let's delete everything that we are not using, but let's make sure everything has fake user on it. Yep. Fake user, fake user. Let's delete everything. Let's only add what we need for now. Let's go to the group. We have version 2s of everything here. So bricks. You know what? Let's use the bricks node. Bricks has to be the main one anyway. So we have the bricks. We can control the length and width. I'm gonna make it 1 and 1 because that's what we have here. And let's decrease the rounding to make it like that. Let's decrease the motor width. I'm just gonna leave it just a tiny bit, like 0.01 or something for now. And then let's decrease the bevel strength. Okay, so let's connect the cell vector to cell vector, height to height, and let's rename this height map to height. It says my bitrate. Oh wow. I think I was private so far. I'm really sorry about that. So hopefully you guys can see me now. Okay, awesome. So let's continue. Right now I cleaned up everything from the previous setup. So these are the nodes that we have created in the past streams, but I tried to group them perfectly. Like you can see, all these things have um, the same inputs: scale, radius, threshold, bevel strength, tactile strength, and gradient profile. Um, so that's what's good about it. Um, the regular tactiles also has a dimension which we have to export from here. So the dimension is basically length and width together. So this is the dimension. So we'll just take this, plug it directly to the output. Let's call that dimension. Hello, hey Curtis, and hey Jacob. Very nice to see you guys here. I made a mistake of not streaming it to the public. I was streaming it privately, so that was stupid of me. I was thinking why I can't see anyone. Ah, noob mistakes. Now I want to bring this dimension all the way up to here. So now we can use the dimension as well. That's perfect. So my plan is to try to recreate this pattern. So let's do that. We have all these old setups. Now let's see if this works here. All it needs is a random color directly connected to the color socket here. Let's connect this height to that. Yep, this works. I'm very happy. We can increase the tactile strength to how much ever we want. I'm gonna keep it like 0.2 for now, and let's increase this size here to 0.15. Sure, why not? And let's use the same UV map that we gave for the motor as well. So now the next thing, let's decrease. Yeah, something around there should do it. And let's take a look at the setup from this collection and with this camera. We can see it's a lot bigger. So now let's try to recreate this one. For this, I'm gonna start with cell vector, separate XYZ. But also let's use a vector math scale node to increase the scale of this. Now let's take the vertical axis and let's use a math node and change this to ping pong. Technically it'll make it that, but instead of ping pong, let's use another one. Let's use the float modulo, I think. Hopefully that's correct. Or is it truncated modulo? It's probably truncated. Okay, it's float modulo, thank God. Okay, I'm gonna modulo it by 1, subtract 0.5, and then absolute it. Now the values go from 0 to 0.5 and goes back to 0. And now I'm going to use a math node multiply and multiply it by 2. So all these things are creating this pattern. Now that we have this pattern, let's try to increase the scale to, I don't know, 20 for now. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's only 8. but we also need something else like float modulo. We also need snap, and let's use another float modulo but with 2. Now let's multiply this and this. Let's use the same multiply node. Let's multiply this and this. Now we can see that it is happening in the opposite direction. So let's invert this. To invert this, we can subtract it by 1, which is what I would do. Now you can see every alternate row is, you know, every alternate row is eliminated. Hey, Mr. Isometric, nice to see you here. Now I think I am working on the next pattern, which is this pattern. Hopefully I can recreate it sooner. I actually have something else to introduce you to guys. It's called shaping functions. I think you can find shaping functions in a resource called Book of Shaders, and I'm trying to get a proper dome shape. There is actually a math formula for that, like parabolic shape or like dome shape. But the other thing is I actually have image. So I'll open that image now instead. This one. These are all the shaping functions, and I want a perfect dome because this image looks like a perfect dome. Of course not, like it's not exactly that, but we could try something like that, right? Uh, let's try to do that though. I just want to see how it would look. But before that, I want to close all the unnecessary tabs that I've opened. It's kind of getting cluttered. So let's do that. Yep, order. Okay. I am going to remove this and I'm gonna give this here. Or else, worst case scenario, let's not look at displacement at all. And colors for now. So just let's look at plain old white surface. And let's look at a shaping function. So we have different shaping functions here. And this is the profile of a gradient that we can use. And I personally like this one with absolute of x with power of 3.5. So I don't know, I think I'll use that. So let's try that first. So we have this gradient, but as you can see, this is going from -1 to 1. So let's use a map range node. uh, a linear gradient, right? So let's take let's not absolute it anything here. Let's take this. This is already going from -1 to 1. To check that, you could use a math node. Greater than 0 is perfectly there. Greater than -1 is everything. So it's going from -1 to 1. So we're going to take this gradient and make it this. For that, this is x. So let's absolute this one now. And let's use a power node, I think. Power of 3.5. but then subtract that from 1. So subtract this from 1. Yeah. And if you multiply that, you'll get this. And let's directly use this one in a displacement node. Let's see how this looks in the height socket. And let's connect this to the displacement. Let's go to small value. Yeah, I like that. So now let's make the controls nicer. So this is one shaping function. Instead of using math, we could probably use a ramp. Like we can do all sorts of this. We can do all sorts of this just by replicating the setup. But if you want a perfect dome, I think we have to use some other math. But let's not do a perfect dome. I don't think I want a perfect dome anyway. So let's take the previous height map, which is this, and let's mix this. Not mix, sorry. Let's use a mix color node. Set this to the top socket and set this one to the bottom socket. Change this to add and plug this directly to the height map. Now we have something like this. There you go. Do you guys think it looks something like that? Nice, but we need to um, eliminate this edges. So I don't want it to be this straight. I want it to have the same thing. So what I'm gonna do is, before I add it, I'm gonna use a minimum node, or yeah, multiply is also fine, which basically terminates that. Or I think minimum is better, or maximum, not maximum, minimum. Yeah, smooth minimum. It's distance of 0. This will give you this really nice edge, and we can then add on top of this. I personally prefer this, and the scaling has to be dealt with. So let's give it 5. Still have that. 20. Still have that. That's nice. But if you want like continuous rails, we can do that by muting this. Sorry. This. But I don't think this looks good. I think alternating rows being taken away is better. So there you go. Now we need to make this shader look better. Let's take this, give it here. Let's take this displacement and place it directly to this displacement now. Hopefully this will have a better look. The pointer seems good, but we need the offset to be a little downer. Okay, I personally like this. What do you guys think? And let me know if you can hear me well and everything. I'm not able to tell the difference at the moment, that's why. And now let's connect this color directly here. I don't want the red, so I'm gonna try to replicate this concrete shader for now. So let's try to do that. Okay, and let's organize this immediately so that it's not that cluttered. Control J, make this up, Alt S, and this on top. Let's give this the same. Mm. Yeah, okay. Now let's give this color. It's like very bluish tinted, and we need. Thank you. Hey Kaju, nice to see you here. And Quackers, nice. So Isometric says, I learned more math with procedural shader and game development than I did in school and 4 years of engineering. Oh wow, that's very true. I think I had the same experience as well, but I did learn a lot in school though. Like whatever I learned in school, I just try to apply it here and it just works. I don't know how, but it just works. So let's, yeah, increase this up. Hmm. There's a small trouble here that I'm not able to um, get. That is, I don't like how this is terminating there. Hmm. There has to be a way I can tackle that. But for now, let's ignore that. Let's get the shader right. And the shader, if you look at it, it is very noisy. It has lots of, uh, I don't know, like it's it feels like uniform color, but like white noise has been added on top of it, and there's lots and lots of um, ups and downs, like details. Like so, one easy way that you can achieve that is, you know what? Let's give it a quick render. F12. So this will give us a better idea of how the shape looks. Yeah, definitely the shape is too big at the moment, and we have to use some. Um, let's let's not add too much to it. Yeah. And I think, yes, definitely, Kaju. I would like to know. Do mess. Do ask your questions. Yes. Um. Yeah. And nice. Okay, I can now see your messages on screen without changing, so that's good. Let's try to decrease this strength to something like and decrease this offset to 0 for now. Let's slowly add on top of this. Yeah, 0.25 should do it. Yeah, this seems more realistic. And I'm gonna tackle this definitely, but one way I would like to go about that is actually taking this and this. So math, separate x, y, z. Let's do that. And let's use ping pong with 1, no, 0.5, sure. Another ping pong using y. Let's use a math, x and y. And yeah, here is what, like minimum. Yep. Now you have this. This is a math multiply 10, 100. Yeah, sure. So Kaju Sharma, I actually have a better idea. Instead of me explaining it, Aaron has an amazing video only on texture coordinates. So I'm gonna tag you guys to that video. So just give me 1 second. So this video is really good if you just want to understand the texture coordinate node. So I myself learned from that. Yeah, and I totally recommend Aaron's stuff. Aaron is amazing. So let's use this one to multiply with this. One multiply, I think minimum. This, this, this. So I myself never used tangent node so far, like not even once. So I don't think I can exactly tell you what it does, but I think I'll play around with it and I'll get back to you, because in my 3-4 years of node career, if you can call that, I never used that node. So yeah, that's my so yeah, that's what I would say about that particular node, definitely. Let's try this. Point info node. So point info node. So the point info node basically gives you the position of the point, which is basically like a single color, and radius of the point, and the random value, like a random value. So let's quickly do something. Let's give it a cube. Let's scale this by 2, and let's go to add modifier geometry nodes. Let's change to geometry nodes. Let's add a new geometry nodes modifier. Points on to volume. No. Mesh to volume. Yep. distribute points in volume. So now we can give it a high density, and let's use set point radius. Let's take a noise node, or else random value node. Let's just select this to here, and let's change this radius down to 0.1. Sure, why not? Like 0.05. So now we have given some values to this. Let's also add a set material node, and let's give it a new material. So for that, let's go to shader editor. I'll just call this point info. Let's go back to geometry nodes. Let's select point info. Now let's go there. Now you can see each point has a value, right? Like everything is different now. So I'll use a point info node, and when I click on the position, this basically gives you the position of the point, RGB value. So this vector is basically a single value, and then radius will give you the radius of this, and we know the radius, right? This value is, the brighter it is, the bigger the radius is, I would say, and then the smaller it is, the blacker it is. And the random, we can just give a random color. So this you can use in a, let's say, color ramp or something. Or else one easy way that I would do is use a mix color, give it one base shader, and connect the random to the second socket, change this to soft light, and you can use this factor to give random colors to it. And why does it not work? Yeah, it is working. Never mind. Lighten. There you go. You can do that. Yes, point info node is really amazing. I never knew because I don't do geometry nodes, but technically by reading the shaders, I think I thought I kind of understood what it does. So let's delete this cube. I don't want that cube, and let's go back to the shader now. So now I try to eliminate this edges. It's almost done. I just need to do some more values. So one thing is, I think the motor value and this one has to be matched, and also the bevel strength. So bevel plus, okay, the bevel is 0.42. So let's just quickly take this value, or let's just make it 0.5 as a round number. What if I just give 0.05 here instead? Zero five. Okay. Half of this, I think. Perfect. That's lovely. Okay, now that we know what to do, let's focus on the next aspect of this, I guess. So now we have that. Now finally, let's add some colors to this. We have RGB values. Instead of soft light, I'll go with overlay and no clamping of the result. Let's give a solid, like, tinted blue for this one. Just a very slight tint of blue. I don't know how this would look, but I'm hoping it'll look fine. And I'm gonna give this as 1. Okay, this is too much, so let's not do that. Let's use a noise texture. So displacement is only happening along the Z, along the normal direction. So the, I don't know if you can see this, sorry. So it's only displacing along the normal. That is normal displacement. You can see it's only displacement. Vector displacement can happen any direction. So it can do in this direction. From the same point, it can go in this direction, like, or this direction. But on regular displacement, it's only along the normal direction. That is a simple way to do it, but I think there are good videos online which explains what normal. Again, Erin has an amazing video, so I'm gonna paste the tutorial again because maybe next time in another stream I will make a vector displacement video or like challenge. We'll create something using vector displacement. If not, I actually have another live stream that I did a long time ago on vector displacement, so I think I'll link you guys to that instead. Let's see. Blender, November, probably November. No, that was previous November, so I think it's probably in the live streams. Okay, I think I found it. This could be very interesting for you guys if you haven't seen what vector displacement does. So here is a live stream that I did a while ago. I think that was 3 years ago or something. In that, I actually tried to make what to call it, a gummy bear using vector displacement from a sphere. So that if you guys can follow that, that might give you a better idea. Aaron is amazing, no doubt, but for me, his talks are a bit nerdy and more technical. Oh wow. Let me just quickly take a screenshot of that. Oh my god. Okay, so I definitely think Karen's stuff is a little bit more advanced than what I would do, what I would like, consider for any beginner. So, but yeah, I think if you follow this previous tutorial that I did, like previous live stream that I did, I think I've tried to make myself a little bit more beginner friendly, if that makes sense, because vector displacement is definitely a complex topic. You would never use that unless you know what you're doing in shader editors. You'll basically use vector displacement maps while sculpting. I think ZBrush has it, and now Blender also has it. Uh, but in shaders, it's just a flex. I think you would never use vector displacement ever in your life in shaders, or else in any production, if that makes sense. You'll use it in sculpting definitely to make your own brushes, but that's as far as it goes. And I don't think you would need to learn it as well. It's just waste of time. But yeah, like if you want to learn, definitely go for it. But it's not useful at all. And let's try to give some surface details here. Okay. Let's give it a scale of 50. And let's break the random color. We can break the tiling. And finally, let's use a color. Oh god, should I use a color ramp? Nope. Let's use a mix. Let's give that and that. It's just slight color variations. Doesn't really matter. And use Voronoi texture. Use this. And let's not try touch the detail. Let's go with, I don't know, 300 scale with color output, and I would probably go with smooth F1 because the color actually has really nice separation there. Let's separate that into XYZ channels and quickly save this. Okay, I hope it's not going to, yeah, thank God, didn't crash. I was a little worried nonetheless. And use math, multiply this with this. Now we have something that we can use as a factor to give two different colors, and those we can directly randomly pick here. The other one somewhere in the darks. Yep, let's give this directly to the color node here. Let's see how that looks. Let's see how this looks. Hmm. Definitely works. So instead of giving that, let's use the same thing as a bump map as well. Instead of, yeah, let's use that as a bump map. Never mind. Give it to height. And let's give it a quick render. Definitely it's gonna look shitty because it's too strong in my opinion. Yeah, there you go. It's too strong. So, and it's too repetitive as well. Hey Wallaby, hi. Nice to see you here, Kyle. I'm trying to do more tiles today, but as you can tell, this is gonna take a while. So let's decrease strength to, let's say, 0.15 or something. Let's see how this looks in a rendered view. Okay. This is definitely not strong, but you can't really see much detail here. Like this is with and without. I personally don't like this. We can still improve upon this definitely. What do you guys think? You know what? Let's work on this. It's fine. Okay, let's work on 0.5, half as strong. As you can tell, this is too uniform. Yep, too uniform. So what I want to do now is take this color, take this, plug this second to the second socket, change this to soft light, and then increase it. And then finally, I'm gonna duplicate it again, use the color node directly into this, and let's look at this one instead. This is nice. You can tell there is definitely colors here. It's like not the same colors, but you know, it's definitely colors. What about instead of soft light, what if you use color instead? No, nope. Let's go with soft light. Yep. And let's change this values to, instead of 30, let's make it 300. Let's make it 500. It definitely has a wrong scale. Let's try this instead. This might look colorful, but you know, who knows? Okay. Let's give it another render quickly. How much time do I use Blender on a daily basis? Tough question, definitely. At the moment, I'm not using it that much, to be honest. Um, I would like to use it more, definitely, but hmm, let's just say 5 to 6 hours a day, maybe a little bit more. 5 to 6 is an average, and I use Houdini more often now. But it's been a while since I touched Houdini. It's been 3 4 days, so okay. I think I like this colored version, but colors are wrong. We'll fix the colors now. You can tell it's definitely an improvement from this one to this one to this one. This is my favorite so far. I mean, it's not perfect, definitely not perfect. We need to give a lot more details. It needs bright values, dark values, and everything. But for now, this is I think it's a 1K render. So let's do a 2K render and see how this would look. It might have more details, but okay. Ooh, the motor looks tasty though. Even though I don't like to eat motor, but this looks tasty. Okay, the colors is too strong. We'll decrease the colors definitely. The But I think we are getting the scale right. And then we need to give some surface imperfections on top of this, so we'll do that next. Mm, yeah, I think that's about it. See, look at that. That's nice. Okay, let's quickly change the color. And since I zoomed in really close, I can directly pick colors into it. And this is the only time I would probably use a color ramp. I know it's a running joke, but color ramps are good when you use it correctly. I'm gonna use a third color channel, so E and press shift, drag. Okay, let's look at this. Look at that. Let's try to pick once again. Hmm. What do you think about this colors? Again, I don't mind it. This seems about right, so I'm just gonna use this instead. Use this in the soft light. Perfect. And I'm gonna delete this node, or else should I keep it? I can do 0.5. And colors 0.7. Now let's take a look at that. I have a crazy idea. Instead of giving a bump, what if I actually use displacement? Probably not the best idea, but why not? Let's just give it a try. Let's take X here. Let's take this, plug it here. This value has to be really small, 0.005 or something. And I don't know. 2, 3, 4. Light fall off. Not exactly sure. Oh wow. The color is nice. It looks more concrete. And definitely I need to increase the strength of that bump. I'm gonna increase that next. It looks good though. This one looks good. I like this one. The color wise, I'm very happy. So let's go back again. Let's give 0.001 instead. Let's get a quick render. So light fall off node. It is definitely useful, but I'll let you know when it is in a bit. Just wanna figure out if this displacement is working like I expected it to. Okay, I'm not able to tell the difference at all. It definitely needs a little bit more than that. Instead of add, what if I do soft light? This might be a little bit scary. Oh, yes. Look at that. Oh my God, I'm so happy. Yes, that's sweet. What do you guys think? Of course, it's too perfect. I'm gonna change it, and it's not gonna be the same. Definitely, it's going to improve. Let's see the light fall off. You mean this node? Oh, nope. I never used this node in my life. I was thinking about light path when this one. I use this a lot, but definitely not light fall off. Yeah. This is really nice. Look at that detail. I don't think you'll get that easily elsewhere. And software is pretty good for that. Uh, let's quickly try doing something else. The bricks need a way to give a thing. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna add a float curve here right before this. Float curve. I'm gonna make this that. That I love this. So let's see which one looks more better. Or this one. Let's make it somewhere half. Yeah, 0.5 should fine. Okay, that is good. I'm gonna make an input. Bring this to here, Control H, and I'm gonna call that as profile. What profile is this again? Gradient profile. Gradient. Yep. And it's a factor, value 1. Change the into not curved into curved. The reason why I did it is if I hover over it, you can see the tooltip why it is giving that. The best part about this is I can decrease the width to, let's say, 0.5. Of course, this is getting stretched. The reason, now we know how to fix that by using this dimension. So vector math multiply with dimension. There you go. Now we can change this to whatever and this will follow. That is the best part about proceduralism, and this is why I love it. Now instead of 20, let's make it 50. There you have it. And also, like, let's quickly get back to the original situation. Let's make this 1, and let's make this 20, and let's quickly increase this offset. That, and min and max. Yep. Let's copy this, the motor. Let's make this 3.5. Let's make this 0.5. Let's do min and do max. Min height to max height. Yep. Let's make the max height as 1. That's too much. 0.6. Yep. And let's get a quick render. Any other questions, guys? I always like hanging out here, so that's fun. I've been enjoying live streaming as well, so I'll consider doing it more often now. This is nice, but the scale seems to be a little off, so I'm gonna increase the scale next. So let's make this 2 instead. Let's see how that would work. Maybe it's too much, and randomization is fine. That's fine. Just a 0.25 instead. And finally, this is something which I never did. Let's use another float curve. And only to this particular one, and let's make this bumpy. This should make it more, I don't know. Yeah, look at that. That is something which you would not get that often, and we can control this like 0.5. Yeah, that is nice. What if we use a mix node and mix with this setup and this setup? With the noise texture. That is literally same as doing this with here. Yep. I haven't really played with volumes that much, but volume scatter and volume absorption. Hmm. How can I explain that? Maybe I'll make a tutorial on it. I have no idea like how to explain it because never played with volumes that much. Sorry. But yeah, you know what? Let's figure it out instead. So let's quickly create a new scene. Let's give it a good HDRI. Not lighting. World T. I'm just gonna add a HDRI real quick. Yep, let's go with that. Let's add a material to this. Let's split this. Let's use a volume scatter node. Volume scatter and volume absorption. The easy way I would describe this, right now you have a color called white, right? Let's do that. And I'm gonna turn off the background real quick. Then make it transparent. Okay, so let's do RGB because you need this visualization. Let's make this white. So in volume scatter, the more green I go, you can see it is actually emitting green. And pink I go, it's giving you pink. So, volume scatter will basically give you whatever color that you give, and it gives you a density controller, to make it more thicker or thinner. But the bigger density that you go, it is kind of scattering. Like if you think about it, look at this. The blues are going to the purples. Like, the blue is going to the purple in this direction, right? And the greens are going to the blues in this direction. And the oranges are just yellows are staying yellows, reds are going to purples. So it's kind of scattering along the direction when you increase that. I don't know why, but that's how I would understand it. Let's do 1 instead. Like 5. 5 seems fine. Okay. So oranges are going to green, so it's traveling in this direction. So this is going in this direction, this is going in this direction, and red is just staying red, I think. Yeah, red is not doing much. So I think it's all getting warmer. Like the scattering is happening in anti-clockwise direction, if that makes sense. Like look at this. Blue is going to red, green, so it is traveling this direction, right? Yeah. And this one, like, it's traveling this direction. I don't know. Depending on the saturation value as well, I think. I'm only talking about highly saturated stuff. Interesting. So volume scatter, it's mostly if you're using for one, it's just basically giving you that color. But volume absorption will give you the complementary color. So it basically absorbs this color. Like if there is red, it will not give you red at all. Like if it's green, it won't give you green. And why is this not happening? Let's use an add shader. Let's give a density of 50. Should I give a light as well? This is why I don't like volumes. It's not predictable at all. Light, point light. Let's see. I hope I can figure this out today. Let's give it 1. I mean, in other softwares, this is what I would say. In other softwares, what happens is whatever color that you're giving, it'll try to take in the color. Like, it'll just absorb that color and it won't give you that color out. While scatter, it'll actually scatter that color. Absorbing as in, like, it'll take it in and it won't give that one color out. So if you're giving this color, I don't think it'll give you that color. It's gonna give you the complementary color, which is this one. And I don't know why I'm not able to visualize it. Okay, here it is. Okay, now you can see it because of the white background. Okay, this is more confusing now. Ah. This is horrible. I'm not able to find out why one works and one doesn't. See? Maybe I got it wrong. I will look into this later. I don't want to waste time on this at the moment. But definitely it's a pretty good challenge. Never did volume materials before. So I'm gonna work on that next. Let's get back to this one. Volumes has to be so, like, what to call it? Like, it has to be such a simple thing. Blender volumes are always been little weird compared to other softwares, definitely. But I did not realize like how weird. Definitely. Okay, let's not touch this. Let's see if I can find a tutorial for that instead. Volume rendering in Blender. Volume scatter node. Okay, there's actually someone who did like volume scatter and absorption node tutorials. Maybe I'll give it a watch later. I put that in save to watch later, but I will also give that here. Let's maybe look into that one and you might find better solutions. Okay, now let's get back to this. Okay, right now I think I'm going to work on this shader. Definitely this is good, and I think I have to add 0.3 to it instead, like more displacement. But also I can use an RGB curve to make it more rounded, like that. More, yeah, nice. Finally, I want to group this, so let's do a quick grouping. Let's make something like this node. I'm gonna take all this setup, not this, just this, and do Control G. Perfect. So this one is cell vector times dimension, so we need two more. Control Z along with this, Control G till here, Control G. Perfect. So we have height input, cell vector, and dimension. So let's quickly change this. Height, dimension. Where is the dimension? Cell vector. And this one to dimension. And the result is again height. So let's change this name to height and change this to float. Cell vector has to be hidden, dimension has to be hidden, height has to be hidden. Perfect. And let's call this horizontal rails, rail tactile. I'm gonna make this big, and we need a scale function, so let's use that now. Change to scale. Perfect. And the next we need is and then strength. This has to be tactile tactile strength. Perfect. Let's rename this properly. Nice, save it. The next thing we need is radius. We don't need radius here. We don't need threshold here. We don't need, oh, threshold. We can actually give threshold. So this is threshold. So let's use that. 0.25. Perfect. Hold. The default is 0.025, 0 to 1, and this has to be type of factor. Let's save it, put it here. Finally, height, cell vector dimension, height, cell vector, scale, we don't need radius, threshold is here, bevel strength, we don't need bevel strength here. We'll be needing it in the next one, and tactile strength and gradient strength. So far this has been very simple, and this one can be made into a material node group as well, and we can call this yeah, we can group this as well, but I don't think I want to do that now because I'm not going to make any materials at the moment. I'm just going to work on the look of it. So this is just to test if things are working correctly or not. Let's do that, and finally this. Right there, here, bring this one here. Nice. Put this up here. So the best part is all these things will be chained. So now we have two chains, and after this we'll be having this one as a chain. So we'll be having this into the next chain. After that we'll have a material chain like a shader. So we'll have 4 layers: pattern layer, tactile layer or like surface imperfection layer, cracks layers, motor layer, and then finally color layer and shader layer. So there are different. So it goes by height, tactile or surface imperfections, mortar setup, color setup, color slash roughness setup, and then shader setup. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's a 5 layered things, but you can add more layers to it if you want, definitely. So far these are the good ones. Next up we need color variation, so I'll give 4 or 5 different color variation nodes to this, where you can use to build different things. But yeah, this setup I never did it, so I'm very happy that I found this new setup. Okay, something is wrong. I think it's probably the tactile strength is fine. Oh yes, the threshold is set to a very low value. We have to increase that to 0.3, 0.25. There you go. Anyway, I think that's it for today. I actually have a different work at the moment, so I'll be stopping the stream here for now. Tomorrow we'll be working on more stuff. Let's see what shall we do tomorrow. Tomorrow we can work on another shader that I want to try, like another pattern. That pattern is the motor. So tomorrow let's work on motor setups. Yeah, like stuff like this. Let's do this tomorrow. That'll be nice. That'll be really nice. Yeah, let's do this stuff like this. And once we set up different motor setups, and then we can layer motor on top of this, like broken tiles, all these things will work really well once you do that. So we'll work on that tomorrow. So live stream will be around this time, 1.5 hour from what time ever you are. So it's like 4 p.m. GMT. So around this time is when I'm trying to stream regularly, so that'll be fun. Um, yeah, I think I'll schedule another stream tomorrow, so should be fun. Anyway, thank you guys. See you guys tomorrow. It's been really nice. So I'm gonna end the stream now. Bye bye.